Okay, so now explain. Here we are in the house of Barney and Billy Brody. Billy's working on Yosef's tallest bag, and Barney's sitting here waiting for me to get the camera ready. Okay, now so explain, Dad, why the sourdough is sitting out instead of you taking it out of the refrigerator. Just 1 second, I want to get a shot here of the kitchen. Here's Billy and Barney's kitchen. Yeah, let's get a close-up. Okay, now we'll pan over to you. And first, before you go over there, you just sit here and explain why you wouldn't agree that I take the bucket out of the refrigerator, because it's not natural.
This is a culture. This is a culture, and it means that it's got a lot of wild yeast in a medium of in a very in a medium it's very nourishing to them, and they're far more active at room temperature than they are in the refrigerator. So when you get ready to expand them, when you get ready to expand this and make twice as much out of it, you want it to be in as active a position as possible, so that it will go faster.
Okay, so
now first I said that if you're going to do this from the beginning, that you should know how to start out a culture with a local wild yeast.
Okay.
In order to make a culture, there are probably many ways of doing it, but the way that I do when I need one is to take a jar of about a pint capacity and put a glass of tap water in there, and put about a tablespoon each of 2 raw grains. That could be either wheat or oats or rye, and it's untoasted, unparched, just a raw, rough grain. And about chop up a half of a small potato and throw it in there. You should get a mixture that's very loose. Set it on the drain board. It'll take 4 or 5 days, maybe longer, depending on the temperature of the room, until it begins to foam.
Does it get stinky?
You might get a little odor out of it. Probably will. Mm-hmm. And it begins to foam, and foam to decidedly foam, not just barely bubble. And then you pour it through a ordinary kitchen strainer. Into a receptacle, whatever you want to put, a cup or anything else. Put it back into the jar that the fermentation first started in, and then you pick a vessel similar to that quart crock I have over there. Have to be that, just it's got a pretty good lid on it.
Yeah.
If you get something with a metal lid, it'll constantly rust on you. You have to keep replacing it. Anyways, you add enough flour, and when I say flour, I'm talking about white bread flour, which will be approximately a cup of flour, and you just keep stirring it into this clear liquid until it gets, and either add more flour or more water till you get the consistency of a pancake batter.
This is just to make the culture.
The culture. This is to make the culture.
And you leave it with the lid off, or with the lid on.
No, you've left it with the lid off when you were collecting your yeast.
Yeah.
after you mixed it with the flour,
Uh-huh.
you then you let it culture again for about a day or two. Let's say 2 days, with the lid cracked on there, and then you tighten the lid up or put it on there and put it in your refrigerator, and it's good for about 6 weeks.
Okay, so what have we got here right now?
Now, right now we've got a culture that's been going for since '93. It's 4 years old. I keep expanding it. Every time you expand it, you get a new culture. So we're gonna right now this morning we're gonna expand the culture.
Okay, so let's
So make twice as much, because then when after it gets made, we're gonna tap off half of it and use it to make some sourdough rye bread. And this is about 2 or 2.5 cups of white bread flour here, and this is the culture. You can see it's been sitting out for a couple of hours. You can see it's getting pretty active. It's foaming.
Wait, I want to get a picture of that foam. Just a minute. Okay.
All right. Going to pour this into here. Tap water, lukewarm. We'll start out with about a cup of it and see how it works. Going to stir it up.
Okay.
Be sure to get all the flour wet. Now this is a little bit too thick.
Yeah, how do you know that it's too thick?
Well, just by looking at it,
Let's
it's
see. I don't know if this is gonna take a picture. If I can take a picture of it or not, we'll try.
too thick. It's a little thicker than a pancake, but it would work, but it wouldn't work too well.
Yeah, so you gotta
We're
add
going to
more water.
add a little bit of water to it. It's, everything in this game is about. You don't have to be perfect. Even if you make small mistakes, you'll still come out all right. I'm going to stir it again. Be sure and get all your flour wet. That's all there is to it. You put a loose lid on there, and you let it sit for about until the next day, till you're ready to start making what we're going to make. Start making the sourdough rye. Half of this will be the culture for the sourdough rye. The other half will go back into here. Put into the refrigerator for the next batch, or whatever sourdough bread we want to make.
Okay.
That's it.
All right. Press it and release it. Yeah.
Now it's recording!
Okay, so you got the sponge?
Another day in the Brody residence.
Okay, so Dad, yesterday we expanded the sponge, and so explain about
the culture.
the culture. Okay,
Yeah.
so explain what the next step is.
Next step is to make up the sponge.
Yeah, so explain about that. I mean, what you're gonna do.
What we're going to do is take half of the flour, mostly the darker parts of the flour, of the darker flours, and we're going to mix the culture in with it. Half of the culture, the other half will be put in a crock and be put back away for the next time we make a sour. and then we'll mix it up and get the proper amount of water in there with all of the flours, and then just let it sit till tomorrow. Sit overnight till tomorrow and ferment.
Okay, so let's go. So what do we need for this?
We need to get go up and get different flours. We need to get the rye flour, the coarse rye flour, the cornmeal, the chopped oats, and that's all I can think of.
Okay, so let's go. Jacob will chase us around.
Now, since it takes the longest to do this, and we want it to be done in time, we're going to cook up the oats have to be cooked.
Yeah.
So going to get the oats.
Okay. I hope you have some.
Getting the
I
oats.
checked on it the other day and I had it.
That's couscous.
Not that.
Oats.
They don't look like oats. It was a special, chopped oats.
Steel cut. Irish oatmeal.
Uh-huh. Well, since they have to be cooked, and since Jacob's going to eat this, maybe we should use his pot.
Yes, Pop.
The oats from close up. Beautiful, wonderful oats.
Here.
I think we can stop it now. We have to wait here until we get a slow boil on.
And we
The
used
oats
out
must cook
don't you want to
15
use
or
out this
20
oil
minutes.
first?
Yeah, sure.
Going up to bring the flour. And they're off! God, I hate being an operator. 10 hours later.
Well, you know what I always said, a watched pot never boils, and don't you forget it.
Walk down the steps on it.
And they're on their way back with the flour.
Okay. We can just knock it off for a minute now.
Here.
We're gonna put half of the
Culture.
half the culture, but the other half to be put away. You can be doing that now if you want to,
Okay.
David. You just eyeball it, stir it up and then eyeball it. Just get it.
It's like pancake batter. That's what you said.
That's right. It's about like a pancake batter. Just now get about half of it in there.
Is that it?
A little bit more. That's it. Okay. Now the rest of it, just dump it right in there.
Okay.
Scrape it out. Here you go.
Okay. You scrape it. I'll hold.
Need another Kodak moment.
The reason we put the liquid on the bottom is it's easier to get everything wet. It's put the dry flour on the bottom, so now when you stir it up, it gets stuck. Now what you want to do now is let this get a leak. Run it till it's lukewarm. Run the water till it's lukewarm. Not real hot, but lukewarm.
Yeah.
Lukewarm. Okay. No, that's not lukewarm yet.
What is it?
Okay.
Yeah. Now what?
Now fill it up about half full. That's about half full.
That's hot. That got to be hot.
Yeah, well, that's reason. Okay. All right, now go ahead. A little bit more.
Is that okay?
Yeah. Pour that in there.
Okay.
this will cook by itself now.
Okay, here we go.
This will cook by itself. All right. Put this back in the fridge. But that's for next time.
Okay.
That's for next time. Got a measuring here. Three buckets of the rye flour.
This is these buckets.
Yeah, they don't have to be absolutely full. You ought to get it over closer to it so you won't spill.
All right.
So, or better in the sink. So almost full.
So what are we making up all the dough now?
No, you're going to set half the flour.
This
And
is
all,
only
half the flour and all the water.
I see. Okay, so 3 of these.
Something like that, yeah. 3 of those is fine.
Well, then we add the rest of the flour tomorrow.
Well, we're not finished here yet. Not quite that full on that.
Is that good?
That's fine. Right.
Okay. What
Okay.
next?
1 pumpernickel meal.
Well, one of these.
Yeah, you want to see it looks different. It's like real coarse rye, heavy, dark coarse rye.
Okay. Full.
Yeah, pretty full.
Okay.
Dump it in there. Dump it in there.
That's it.
That's it. Let me see what you get. 1 cornmeal.
Well, you do one of these, Dad.
Okay, one cornmeal.
Here.
That's all until this gets kind of done.
Yeah.
You can just
Is it
knock
supposed to be cooked like regular oatmeal, like when you eat oatmeal?
It's
I mean that thick?
yeah, it'll get thick. Actually, you could use a lot more water, but we're not going to put it in there. But you can go 5 to 1 on this if you want to, if you're going to eat it.
5 parts water and 1 part
It'll
oats?
take it up too. But I'm going to use 2 to 1. I don't want to get too much water in here. So we'll let this cook for about 10 minutes. Now, if you want to start stirring it, David, you can start stirring that up.
Which? Oh, the flour. Okay.
Now, when you stir it, go to the bottom. See, go to the bottom. If you get a better purchase on it, you can stand on that stool. Oh, she's using the stool now, so.
No, I'm
you
fine.
we don't need it. You can have the stool.
User of the stool.
I'm fine. This is stiff.
Yeah, we'll add some water. Let's do what you can with it, because that oatmeal has to cook.
Dave, you should get a picture inside this bucket.
Inside.
Looks like the finest Play-Doh.
You can tilt it if you like to.
What does this remind us of?
Making bricks at Pesach.
Bricks at Pesach.
Now, wait. Okay, now what's happening with the oatmeal, Dad?
When you cook the oatmeal, you cook it with approximately twice as much water as there is. This is called Irish oatmeal or chopped oats.
Yeah.
And you are steel cut oats. And you cook it for about 10-15 minutes on a slow fire, and it'll get thick, and you turn it off. You should let it cool before you put it in this big mixture here, before you put it in your sponge, because if it hits the part of the sponge that hits hot, it's going to kill the bacteria. It's going to kill the yeast in there. So give it an adequate amount of time to cool off to about 150 15 degrees, something like that.
Uh-huh.
And then you can put it in there.
Okay.
Or you can put it in back in that little bucket that, right here, and put it in there a little sooner than that and put cold water in with it. But as long as you get the mixture down to about 115 or less, then we're going to pour it in here, and we're going to add enough water to make the mixture.
Okay. So aren't you going to show us that that Scottish oatmeal stick?
Yeah. This is from Scotland, and it's called a porridge mixture. You mix porridge, you mix this kind of porridge, oatmeal, any kind of porridge you have, you mix it with this right here.
Okay. Okay, so what's going to happen now?
Oh, we're gonna put the cooked oats in there. Then we're gonna add enough lukewarm water to make up a batter that's about like a pancake batter.
Okay, just 1 minute. Okay. What was that?
That was the cooked oats went in there.
Uh-huh.
Now we're gonna have some warm water and just keep adding it until we get the right texture.
Okay. Oh, so you do stand on that.
Well, I do when I got to, sure, when I have to get it down shallow.
Uh-huh. You want some help, Dad? You want me to do that?
Well, who's going to do the filming?
Well, I'll get Jacob over here to do it.
You can
Or
take
maybe
over
I'll
when I
stop
get it
filming.
going.
Huh?
You can take over when I get it going.
Okay.
Anytime you want to.
All right.
Homogenized in there. Best you can before we add any more. It gets kind of hard when we let it sit that long. Just stir it up until it gets as homogeneous as it can. Our lump's got to come out.
We should turn on this light over the sink. We'll get better. There we go. Oh boy, it really is stuck in there.
Well,
What does this remind us of?
Get the corners. Get the corners now.
Okay.
Get the corners. Not part of the process now.
Well, why don't you explain what's going to happen next?
Well, okay. Well, we're gonna get this thing down to the right consistency,
Yeah.
and then it's gonna set overnight, and then we'll continue with it tomorrow morning. We'll add the balance of the flour and the other dry ingredients.
So all we're going to do is I'm just going to stir and stir and stir until it's the right consistency, and then we're just going to leave it?
Yes, we're gonna leave it with a loose lid on it.
Uh-huh.
Loose lid on it.
Okay. So then I don't think I think we can stop the filming then, because that's all.
This.
You could do it.
So now when they watch it,
Actually, it's not recording.
how do they record?
No, don't.
I know.
Over, it's gonna have to come backwards, so do less than half.
You can see in there. Tell me when to stop.
Okay, stop it. Just scrape it off. Tilt it back a little bit. Put it back on the scale, see what we're doing.
Okay. Too much. No, not enough. You can pour some more in, right? That's. It weighs. If you put it on 8,
It's not too much in here.
you want to take some out?
Wait, does that, now let's make it
That's-
make sense. More won't help it,
Right.
so it had to come out, come back with some. So let's just hold this thing up there.
You want me to dip some out?
Yeah, let's get it close. Jack. There's something wrong.
You want me to come over there and
Well,
pick up the
if
scale?
you,
I've only been able to do this, and all of a sudden
Wait a
I can't
second.
do it.
So we're, wait a
you
second.
put, we don't know whether we,
I want
Whether we
47,
got
I want
more?
4700.
You're heavy.
Huh?
You're
I'm
heavy.
heavy.
See, if you lift this up, the scale goes, will go into
so that
that.
means, oh, Gail, if you wanted this, soundtrack to come out good, you have to turn off the washing machine because the noise in the background will prevent the, sound. Okay. So put it in the mixer?
Put it on the,
Oh, that's sour. Have you tasted it? Have you ever tasted it?
raw.
Yeah.
I know it's sour.
It's sour. It tastes like vinegar or something.
I don't like it. You're making the sourdough right.
Okay. Now put the hook.
Got the nipple in there?
Yeah.
You guys are gonna have heroic music in the background.
Okay, now go ahead and get it up there and just...
What's the music from?
Those
Oh,
things
well,
clear
can you
down.
close the door?
Yeah.
Because any noise in the background really makes it, the soundtrack
Can
not
you
come out.
pause?
Huh?
One. Now let's see, we put in the sponge, the flour, oil, the salt, the gluten,
And
and
the
the
caraway
caraway
seed.
seed.
Is that everything?
That's everything. You'll put on number one, slow speed. Be
So
ready to-
you don't need a recipe, it's in your head.
Yeah, some people do.
Some people. Well, that's why you put it in your computer.
Sometimes I forget.
So how long is this gonna?
You can see what's happening here. It's not going to be enough flour. And I can tell you right now, but it's because of past experience. So,
Because it's gonna be too sticky, right? You have to add more
That's right,
flour
yeah.
so it doesn't.
That's right. But there's still some flour in the bottom.
Well, since that culture was kind of lumpy,
Well, this
maybe right. So maybe before you add more flour, you should just let it really get.
Oh yeah, it's going to take a look at you. What, 15 minutes is what we're looking for.
Okay.
That'll smooth anything out.
So is there something else we do to get ready while it's beating?
Well,
You want me to grease the
you can
pans?
grease the pan. Let's see.
How many pans?
Well, now you cut this off with the flour. Now I'm putting about a half a cup of, I don't want to unbalance the flour, so we're gonna add rye flour if we have to add any more.
Okay, there we go. Now it's looking like dough.
More like it should have looked. If I overplay the flour, then it'll come in with more water.
So you want me to grease up the pans?
Raise up, I'll tell you what you can raise up. One, two. And there's this brush in there.
Okay. Now this is just for half.
For half.
Half of the batch is going to be 4
That's the half that you're,
bigs
that's
and
the half
2
that
littles.
you're kneading right now.
Okay.
Noah? Oh,
I use this paintbrush, Dad? Oh, that one's for glazing the hollows. That
And,
paintbrush.
now this thing here, you just
So do you think you have enough flour in there now? Does it feel right?
when it takes this up, I think we'll be pretty close. You always stick your finger in it and see if you don't have to be perfect,
Right.
but it's close now.
Well, I'm not going to stick my finger in now, Dad.
No, I mean you shut it down and you touch the dough.
So will the second batch, they're half and half, so the second batch will make also 4 bigs and 2 littles, huh?
Well, and if the 440 a pound, 2.5 pounds ought to be 1,100. Does that make sense?
Run that by me again.
440 is a pound.
440 grams is a pound, right?
So 2.5 would be 1,100 grams, wouldn't it?
2.5 pounds.
Yeah.
880 plus 220 is, yeah.
700 grams. Okay. So we'll shoot. We're gonna set the scale for that. But by experience, we know that I'm thinking this round flour here.
Well, what about for the second batch, you think?
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Well, we're
It's
gonna need,
it's not very far.
so we're gonna need it right here and shape the loaves. We need to clear this off, right?
Yeah. Get it. What y'all do is move that bucket so we can clear the scale. We're gonna start scaling our. Start scaling our see how our portions work out.
You know what, Sarah? You
Let
should,
me take off the main button. Switch right there. Turn the machine off. Now lower it. Lower the boom. Your hands, I presume, are clean. Roll your sleeves way up. All right, now there's a wobble this thing off. Wobble this thing off there. That's right there. Go down. Go straight down the bottom with it. Now, take it. Pull out. Just leave. No, leave it under there. And take it. Peel it. Take the dough. Scrape the dough off the hook.
right.
That's right. That's right. It's tight, ain't it? Let's see if you're stronger in the dough now. Tilt the pot. Come on out with it. There you go. There you go. Bring the pot up here. Dump it right on there. You have to help it out.
Okay.
Just tilt it, and I'll help it out. Pretty good. See, there's nothing sticking to the bowl much. Don't put it back in. We're not quite. Okay, now what we're going to do now is here, Sarah. You're going to do this.
Okay.
Now go ahead and roll it in flour. Just get it dusted in flour. Okay, I got it set for 1,100 grams. Let me dust this a little bit. Okay, I got a knife here somewhere. Okay, Sarah. Cut off 2.5 pounds. Dead eye 2.5 pounds. Hold up here. More. Okay, take a good look at this. Now go ahead and dead eye some more. We're looking for 4 of these. Let's see how much we got left. I'm gonna let you adjust it. Go ahead, put it. Okay, put it up here and adjust it to where the scale balances. Just a smidgen. You're going the wrong way. That's good enough. Mash it together, see, so it won't, okay.
So couldn't you take off challah now and just throw it in the oven and burn it?
There's no oven. Wait, we'll have to open up all the windows. I can take challah now, yeah.
Okay.
But how about we burn it with a candle or something outdoors or something? Let's turn this up to you. But I just don't like doing it here because you mess up the whole kitchen.
You know there's a bracha? You know what it is?
I've seen it before.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahafrish challah.
There you go. We're going to take challah, Sarah. See there? It's like back in the old days. Sarah. Okay. Go ahead. Change it to 550 grams for the smaller pans. 550. Okay. Now cut some more. These will be small. They'll be half size. Where are the two smaller pieces at?
That.
That's okay. They don't mess with these anymore. Okay, now divide it. Let's eyeball it into four different pieces, the same size. Satisfied?
Sure.
They seem to be fairly even.
Yeah.
Be fairly even. Okay, do what watch here. Incorporate each one into where. Okay. All right. Let's get this thing out of the way here. All right. Now, who's gonna make the loaves?
You are.
David, you want
I'm gonna make the loaves.
At least you make one so I can film it, and then I'll make the others. But I keep forgetting how. You need to show me and explain.
Okay, now you don't want too much flour under the actual working area that you're gonna roll out the. You start out with an approximate goal here. Now I'm gonna wet a towel and just
Okay.
cover it. What we did there last was just to accommodate our pans rather than to have another oven run.
When?
When we added a little bit to each one, we didn't add enough to where it would
I
overrun
see.
the pans.
You took the extra dough and you put
Yeah,
it
that's
in,
right.
you
We just-
incorporated it in the loaves.
There you go. Well, this is a much better rolling pin than we had over at the house.
So what happens next?
Make the loaf. Get the air out of it.
So is that in thirds?
Huh?
Is that in thirds?
Well, more or less. You're shooting for a certain size here,
Uh-huh.
oblong size here. And sometimes you make them overlap, sometimes you make them overlap more, sometimes you don't overlap at all. That's the glue part. And let me get another towel.
Okay, that's it?
Yeah, you want to make some of that?
Yeah.
Recording, okay?
Yep.
Flatten it out now.
Okay. No
Very-
flour?
Very little flour, just enough to keep it from sticking.
Didn't you put a lot of flour on when you
Yeah, I
when
did.
Sarah took the dough out and she?
Yeah, that's
Shape
right.
the
That's
loaf?
different. But now I'm shaping the bread, and I don't want.
Yeah. So what's the difference?
Well, it's you don't want the dough sliding out from under you. Now you don't really need to do all that.
Oh, I just take the rolling pin.
Well, you flatten it out with your hand. Flatten it out with your hand. Give it some sort of form.
Okay.
Okay.
Is that good?
Yeah.
Now with the rolling pin.
Yeah. Keep the flour anyway. Yeah, I showed you how to make square collars, didn't I?
All right, explain it again.
45-degree angle on the rolling pin.
Like that?
Yeah, but see, what you do, you fatten the middle, so you want to work the middle stronger than you do the others, because the middle has a tendency to be bigger than the other part.
All right. Are these corners square enough?
That's okay. Now just
Huh?
roll it out a little long, whole piece a little long.
Okay. Is that it?
That's okay now.
Huh?
When I turn it upside down,
Oh, right.
turn it upside down where you get the smoothest piece on the bottom.
Okay. That's it?
Well, not quite so far. Come
Oh.
on, not quite so far. And then push it down. Get rid of the air. Okay, now the other part, come down, just barely tip it. That's it. Push it down. Get rid of the extra air.
Okay.
All right, now take your finger and wet one of the edges. Okay, now bring it up and pinch it. Pinch it real tight, in a real small area.
Yeah. Is that good?
It's fine if you stick it in, turn it upside down. Claw in your edges. Don't fold them under, claw them in.
How's that? Huh?
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Now milk it down to where.
Okay.
Keep going. Don't move fast now. Try to keep from knocking the flour over on the floor. About this way.
No flour at all, or just a really light dusting?
No, it's all right. You just a little bit. You got flour dusting on here. Getting way out here to the edge. You might have a big cleanup job
Okay.
on the floor.
All right. Well, you know what, Noah? After this loaf, I think we can stop for a while, because it's gonna be seen in one loaf. You've seen them all. Let's make sure. Get one more here.
Square your edges off now. Turn it upside down. You fatten the middle, see if you can get rid of some of that.
That better?
That's fine.
Okay. So who taught you about this glue business? Putting this water
My
on?
brother Harry might have. There's some doughs you don't need to do that with. You have to check your dough and see.
You do it on challahs, don't you?
Collars you don't, well, yeah, just to pinch the edges, see. Now, yours, what you look here. I don't want them folded in. I want them clawed into the center.
Uh-huh.
There's a difference. See what I'm talking
Oh,
about?
I see. Yeah.
Clawed into the center. See, now you're a little wet, so you need to. And we're going to shape them one more time after, right? Okay, now drop it in there. Drop it in
Okay.
there.
Okay.
So, is,
Just let them, give them an extra, see there, yeah, about an extra 5 minutes.
so we don't put the wash on now. You do the wash when it's in the oven.
Wash when it comes out. I am going to spray I'm going to put some spray in there. I'll find my sprayer. Excuse me, darling.
So how do you manufacture the steam?
Spray water on that hot brick.
On the tiles?
On a hot tile, yeah.
When do you spray it?
While the bread's in the oven.
A few times? Or
Uh-huh.
just before you start, or a few times
No,
while?
you do it while it's done. You can do it about it. It helps harden the crust.
These loaves really rounded up nicely.
Yeah, they did. They did real nice.
So the only purpose of those tiles is to get steam in the oven?
Right. Well, sometimes, yeah. Now sometimes I bake right on the tiles. See,
Yeah.
they broke one of my tiles. No, I did. That's okay. These two fit together, and I can I can hearth bake bread on it. Just put it right on the. But the way you lubricate it is you use either cornmeal or whole wheat flour. And no grease, because you put grease on it, it turns no good. And that's an excellent lubricant. You can touch that bread, stick your finger, you get an idea. See, it's not wanting to come back up too much.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to give it an extra 5 minutes from what it said.
Okay. Well, let's cut. No. Picture of Zadie slashing the bread.
Yeah, you got me a good edge on here, Noah. Put a little moo-goo on there.
So what is this? It's just water?
Water, this is
Okay.
water. We'll give it a few more minutes and we'll put it in the oven.
Okay. Okay, now we're putting the bread in the oven.
There you go.
Okay.
Put the timer on. 45 minutes.
So you bake for 45 minutes?
45 minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, how do you know if they're ready? You're gonna explain
We're
it?
gonna knock them out of the pans and see if the color's right. Top color looks good. See what the bottom color looks like. Yeah, see, nice golden brown. They're done. See how easy they come out of the pan? That's that special grease of mine. We'll wait 5 more minutes and then check the large loaves.
Okay. So what are you painting on? What are you washing it with?
Salt water. Heavy salt brine.
Okay, well, what's the formula?
It's about a tablespoon to a cup of water.
Tablespoon of salt to a cup of water.
Yeah.
And what does that do for the bread?
Puts a sort of a salt glaze on top of it. If you see in a few minutes, this will evaporate off because the bread is so hot. It should leave you a little bit of a glaze on there.
Okay, so how much more time do we have for the rest of them?
We're gonna try it in 5 minutes.
Okay.
Try it in 5 minutes because and this bread looks close to being ready. I believe we've got a better proofing on this than we had on the others.
Yeah, it's much higher.
I can't explain it. I don't understand.
So you're gonna score those?
Yeah. I'm gonna slash them. Well, Noah did a good job on that knife.
He sharpened it for you, right?
Yeah.
You need a really sharp knife for slashing the bread.
Yeah, if not, it drags it. It drags it. We have a ragged looking pieces. A lot of them use razor blades. Now this one we're gonna come up, but we're not gonna come too close to the top because it'll leave a sort of an exploded surface up there. If we're not careful. Leave a lot of the top exposed. Okay, it's time to take a look at the yeah, they're all there.
What stage is the baking at?
I'm sorry?
What stage is this? What stage is this?
That's right. The first is finished, no? See see how pretty your slashes came out? Because you gave me a good sharp knife. It didn't make ragged slashes. It made
So that was the timer. 45 minutes, right? Didn't we bake it for 45 minutes?
yeah.
Now you're baking the second batch.
Same thing.
I think the second batch is going to be 45 minutes. You want me to set the timer for 45 minutes?
Yeah, I hope I can get this in there. It's not working. It ain't working. See, it's a different shape than my stove is.
Alright, so what are you going to do? Can you just refrigerate it and bake it later?
Just a second now, I think I can. Okay, I got it rearranged. It's gonna go. Now once you've proofed it, you pretty well got to get in the oven with it. Now we'll wash the, see how dry this is now? Where this was washed and it's
Yeah, those loaves are beautiful. They really rose nicely.
yeah, come out good. For homemade yeast. Homemade wild yeast. In there. So I figured out another bit of geometry in there. That's so careful. I just gave Mother the other size and find out use them at home.
So these black ones you take home?
What?
The
I
black
don't take
ones
these.
you
No, I
take
don't take. I didn't bring any from the house.
Uh-huh.
It's cheap enough to keep in both places.
Oh, I see. You have a set of pans at home and a set here.
Yeah, well, because I didn't like those. They were too small.
Uh-huh.
So I just left them there.
Yeah.
These things don't ever seem to wear out. You notice how they have it, and the coating never wears off. It just jump right out of the pan
Uh-huh.
when you. Oh, man, let me show you about the cleanup stuff. Gail was complaining that it smelled, so I let it sit for about 5 minutes. Just take it out and it don't smell no more.
So what does that bleach do? It just kills the germs?
I don't know
Kills
what
the
it does.
bacteria?
It kills the odor. You just
Uh-huh.
don't have no bad smelling stuff. It smells real rank. And then I just dump it out. And leave it a little damp on the inside, but
Just the brushes and stuff.
yeah, the
Just the
brushes,
cleaning.
yeah, the cleaning stuff,
Uh-huh.
the cleaning part.
So,
We've gained about 3 loaves here.
uh-huh.
I'll hold them for a little while.
Hold them for a long while. It takes a long time to eat a loaf of bread like that.
Well, I don't know. They knock it over. She says they can knock over almost a loaf a day. Not that size.
Of your bread?
Not that size. I don't think they can now.
It's hard to imagine.
Not that size. Let's get a little another square. Okay, we'll run out to it. Okay.
That's it.
Let me take one out just to be sure. Yeah, got a good bottom on it. Give it 3 more minutes.
Okay.
I don't trust it. 3 more minutes.
Alright. It's ready.
Yeah, boy, that's that color there. See how the colors change?
Yeah, that last 3 minutes was
Colors
the right
change
thing to
too.
do.
Probably a little, yeah, see, it's a little darker in the back of the oven.
Mm-hmm.
See, theoretically, this is supposed to keep this from happening.
But the slashes are supposed to keep
You're
it.
supposed to open. See, I did with this. Yeah, so you got a nice brown bottom. Now, Regina will get 2 loaves of this, so that ought to keep her satisfied. Yeah. It's got real good color.
So when did you get started, first interested in baking bread? I don't remember your baking bread when we were little kids.
No, when I used to make it at the store. Sometimes when Saturdays got real slow,
Uh-huh.
and I started, of course I had somebody wash up behind me on Monday, you see.
You baked it for the house or to sell?
No, never to sell, never to
Uh-huh.
sell. I probably, at some part of that business, I should have opened up, should have started a bakery, but I don't know, it just never seemed to get set up for it. The question of whether I would have been able to delegate authority, that was always the big problem with me.
Uh-huh.
So,
Well, there's so much art to it. It would be hard for you to
you
hand it over to somebody
you
else.
can get them to do it. They get your own knack to it. You get a good. Okay.
All right, so I'll finish cleaning up here.
All right. Just you wipe those off and then put the stuff away, and then I'll. So we'll leave Gail 3 loaves. That's her 3.
That's that? Okay. Wait, I missed that. Say that again.
11 to 3:30.
Yeah, that's not bad, is it?
I think so.
Okay. There we go.
Okay. Well, this loaf has already been cut into and devoured by me and Sarah, who did not have lunch today. And I'll show you how beautifully it cuts here. Perfect texture.
Okay. That's for me, right?
That's for you.
Okay.